Hype is ramping up again with Pokemon Black and White. Many people forgot about this. We were just too focused on Legend ZA until the trailer was about to be posted. With Black Bolt and White Flare being around the corner, like a week away, is stepping up its game. As we see with Pokemon posting non-stop on anything related to Black and White, and as we know, the set actually only has Unova Pokemon instead of any other regions, which is just like the games. I like how they connected both the TCG and the games, because in the games we actually could never get Pokemon from other regions. Only the Unova Pokemon were exclusively in the game. Until post-game, obviously, you could catch other Pokemon species. It was only Generation 5 Pokemon. So same with the TCG, they're only including Pokemon from Unova, and the only other recent set they focused on one generation was Scarlet and Violet 151. And I don't think that's a coincidence, since Scarlet Violet 151 is Kanto, and now it's Gen 5 Unova. There's a lot of similarities between Gen 1 and Gen 5 Pokemon, like they're revamped. Like, if you see the Pokédex, they look like they're almost counterparts of each other, but they are not directly related, but they just look very, very similar. So it's very cool. I don't think that's a coincidence once again, Kanto and Unova. Kanto is based on Japan, and Unova is more like America. And as Pokemon also posted like the cutscene with N, they had N with his Reshiram doing those moves, and it was in the Dragon Spiral Tower. I remember this cutscene, it was very legendary, with all the graphics and the 2DS games. People generally consider Black and White 2 to have the best graphics of the DS games. They refined the pixel art style and improved the 3D environments compared to the previous games. It made them stand out as one of the most visually appealing games on the system. Especially there was like hardware limitations, and there was actually scrapped footage of Pokemon Black and White actually having an immersive camera, and it looked very cool. There's a lot of different perspectives and point of views where you could control the gaming as you go. It looks very, very cool, honestly. It does look like a glitch, but it's actually, some people tested it out in like a ROM hack or some sort of different debugging systems where they tried to do this type of thing. People even made like a Nintendo Switch version, but I think that was kind of put under the rug. Many people don't really talk about it. They think that the graphics are very good, which I do kind of agree with, but I think that there's a lot of other good games too, like the Gen 4 games. They come very close, Diamond and Pearl and Heart Gold Soul Silver. But judging from what we could tell, I think the remakes are more doable instead of the Black 3 onto Switch 2, which is more likely to happen since Switch 2 is coming out. I mean, Switch 2 is already out, and they would most likely want to do a new Pokemon game on the Switch 2 instead of the Switch 1, especially with the new graphics. They want to have a fresh start. And Black 2 was its own unique game. I actually played it a few months ago and completed the whole thing on my channel. It was very fun. I feel like it was very smooth when I did the gameplay. It just felt like whenever I did the battles, they did a different camera motion. Instead of blocks and being frozen in time, it felt like it was moving around and it was more realistic. And even just in general, Black 2 had more of a spooky vibe. The same with Getsis. The music is on another level. And the aquarium was just an amazing experience. It felt like I was actually in an aquarium, where I was looking from the marine tube with all the fishes and the actual water Pokemon swimming in the ocean. There was even like this big Wailord that I almost encountered, and it was funny, since Wailord is not scaled like that in other games like Sword and Shield. It's funny how the older games actually depicted it more perfectly and accurately. I mean, it may not look huge in the wilds when you encounter it, but scale-wise, Sword and Shield didn't really do good with their scaling, so in Black and White 2 remakes, just imagine how this Pokemon scaling could work. I mean, since Pokemon is becoming more open world, if they do stick to the open world style in the Black and White remake, then I think that a lot of Pokemon will look way much cooler. Imagine one day Nintendo Switch does this thing where they make it like 4D or 5D, where we could smell stuff through the screen. I think that will really happen since AI is becoming more advanced and we're getting so much technology these days. So imagine just one day, like, we could smell Garbodor through the screen. Like, imagine how terrible that would smell. At the same time, imagine Vanillite, this tasty ice cream from Unova. It would smell like vanilla through the screen and even eat the Nintendo Switch console. I think Black 2 is just so good that I don't think they should make a Black and White 3. It wouldn't really make sense. Usually Pokemon never makes a version 1 and the version 2, and then they continue on and on. I think they would rather instead just remake it on the Switch like Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They had enhanced graphics and more 3D-like stuff, but I don't think it's gonna get the same treatment as BDSP, since a lot of people didn't like that actually. It was very cheapy. When Rayquaza would just follow us around, look at how small it looked. It just looked so funny. What did Rayquaza do to deserve this? Many people prefer to have Pokemon characters that look more mature, and the graphics just make it look more advanced instead of like small baby looking stuff. So it feels more epic, like Legends Arceus, comparing those two games, even though they're both based on the Sinnoh region. Arceus generally tended to have more popularity. It kind of had more dark themes, like we had to hunt Pokemon ourselves and they were attacking us. By the way, there is a new post that I did make a short on where Pokemon said that Pikachu is preparing something. So that is another hint. People are speculating it could be black and white. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Comment down below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Peace.